So, welcome everyone. A pleasant day to each one of us. I, Jeremy Aganon, with Miss Lorea Hernandez and Miss Aslane Peralta, are hereby today to discuss and present to you the Fauvism art. So, in the first place, what is Fauvism? Well, welcome everyone. Fauvism is an art pleasant movement day to each and one style of us that was established towards the beginning of the 20th century with Miss Lorea. It was pioneered by the likes of Henry Peralta and Andre Durain. Are hereby today in its early years discuss and Fauvism was predominantly affiliated with French artists. So, what Fauvism art is characterized by its bold colors, a pleasant day to each textured one of us, brushwork, and non-naturalistic depictions with Miss Lorea Hernandez and Miss Aslane Peralta are hereby today. Fauvism is an art movement and style that was established towards the beginning of the 20th century. It was pioneered by the likes of Henri Matisse and Andre Durain. In its early years, Fauvism was predominantly affiliated with French artists. Fauvism art,
whose aesthetic influence can be seen in each painter's stylized treatment of the human figure, pictorial flatness, and fragmented shapes and planes. To make their paintings, they applied thick brush strokes of vibrant colors, often unmixed from commercially produced tubes of paint. These colors did not correspond to the way things appeared in real life. "My choice of colors does not rest on any scientific theory," said Matisse. "It is based on observation, on feeling, on the very nature of each experience."
1905, Matisse and Derain exhibited together at the Salon d'Automne, Fall Salon, an alternative to the state-sponsored juried salon, and their work caused a scandal. Viewers and critics alike were shocked by their use of bright, non-naturalistic colors in their landscapes and portraits. One art critic went so far as to call the artists fauves or wild beasts too, and the label stuck. Since then, the term Fauvism has been applied to work by Matisse, Derain, and a small band of early 20th century painters who used similarly expressive colors applied in planes and with broad brushstrokes. 1905,
so
Matisse.
next, let us try to learn and understand the history of Fauvism. The term Fauvism translates to the mean wild beasts, and this was coined by critic Louis Vauxelles following the 1905 Salon d'Automne exhibition. This exhibition, which was held in Paris, had caused widespread outrage. Such vibrant and natural colors shocked the public and critics alike, as Fauvism soon earned its place as one of the first avant-garde art movements of the 20th century. The figure most commonly associated with Fauvism is none other than Matisse, taking influence from Gauguin, Van Gogh, and Seurat. Matisse moved art that one step closer to abstraction. This groundbreaking modernist movement did away with the stillness of the subject matter, instead instilling color with movement and brushwork with energy. The most famous Fauvist pieces of art are predominantly by Matisse. Works such as Bonheur de Vivre and Dance have endured as iconic and instantly recognizable paintings, combining a mystical and euphoric subject matter with a distinct flatness and an enhanced palette. These works continue to influence the course of contemporary art.
Notable artists and their artworks. The first one that we have is Women with the Hat by Henri Matisse. This was where it all began for the Fauvist movement and for Henri Matisse. The year was 1905, and Women with the Hat found itself at the center of the controversy that led to the christening of the first modern art movement of the 20th century, when shown at Salon d'Automne, Paris. The audience reaction was one of alarm. Matisse's use of non-naturalistic colors and loose brushwork that had an unfinished look shocked art enthusiasts, more accustomed to traditional modes of painting, with real-life representations of color and form. It also marked a stylistic change from the divisionism-influenced brushstrokes of Matisse's earlier work to an individual style that would come to embody his work.
Second notable artwork is the Charing Cross Bridge, London, by Andre Derain. Andre Derain's technicolor ascent into Fauvism was aided by his close friend and artistic rival, Henri Matisse. But it was during a trip to London in 1906 when produced approximately 30 paintings that he painted one of the greatest examples of Fauvist art. Illuminated by a bounty of bright colors that weren't derived from reality, the London scene is one of the most remarkable ever produced of the capital. Buildings are adorned in blue, the trees are red, and the yellow sky all contribute to a piece that exemplifies the early characteristics of Fauvism thanks to its small, disjointed brushstrokes and its unblended quality.
Next, let us now dive to the River Seine at Chateau by Maurice de Vlaminck. Maurice de Vlaminck painted how he saw, and more importantly, how he experienced the landscape, saying, "I try to paint with my heart and my guts without worrying about style." This approach placed him in the Fauvist band of painters, which was hardly a surprise considering he shared a studio on the island of Chateau with Andre Derain in 1900s. Working alongside each other, they formed the School of Chateau, which was characterized by its bright colors and bold brushstrokes, and proved the world that it would be a catalyst for Fauvism.
He lived in Chatou with his wife and children, and worked as a professional cyclist and an itinerant violinist. Before the Parisian art dealer Ambroise Vollard purchased the Vlaminck stock of paintings early in the year 1906, giving him the financial freedom to concentrate on painting. His approach was typified by undisguised brushwork and intuitive application of paint in the style of his hero Vincent van Gogh, whose expressive style he so adored and emulated with his short strokes of impasto color, in which paint is laid on an area of the surface thickly so that the brush or painting knife strokes are visible. Applying his paint in daubs and swirls of pigment directly from the tube, his approach was typically Fauvist, but his application of color was more conventional, as can be seen by the white houses, green leaves, reddish-orange tree trunks, and the blue, red, and white trawler in the background.
So these are the references used in our presentation. Thank you for listening.